a little bit better start than what we'd had. I think it's the first time we've led the first media timeout since Arkansas. So I'm stressing to have a little bit better sense of urgency to start the games. I thought with Barron's sense of urgency to get stops on Hubbard was really good. That's what we need out of the Barron every night. I thought he played great. You know, he ended up with 10 and 5 with only 2 turnovers. But I thought, you know, it's one of those deals where when you just get really locked into the right stuff and lose yourself in the game, the offense comes a lot easier. You know, he shot 2 of 5 from 3, contributed to 22 threes we made. So, you know, I was happy with his defense, but there's other guys that took their turn on Hubbard that I thought did a pretty good job. You know, I thought Sears had some moments on him. You know, and he scored 21, but we got a lot of those late after we were up 30. I thought when the game was still undecided, particularly in the first half, he only had 6. And I liked our sense of urgency on defense. You know, Darren's defensive leverage was a positive 19, and it showed because he did a really good job on their best player. Thought, you know, Youngblood was really locked into getting stops and trying to hold guys accountable, and he was positive 36 in his defensive leverage. Thought Cliff's had a sense of urgency these last 2 games, that did a little bit better than what he's had. And, you know, he was plus 21 on the defensive leverage. So you kind of look at the guys that were positive on the defensive end and see, you know, Grant was positive, Sears was positive on the defensive end, and that's what we're stressing. That's what we're really trying to get out of the guys. You know, and the offense will take care of itself as long as we don't turn it over. We get on the old board. So, you know, I thought late we gave up too many old boards, but we ended up still outscoring on second chance points, 21-15. And, you know, I thought our pace on offense, the way we moved the ball, we took care of it. You know, it obviously helps to make shots. We shot almost 50% from 3. That helps everything when you get your defense set. But, you know, we tried to go a little lighter, get the guys' legs back. You know, typically when we go Saturday, Tuesday, the only off day we'd have on the week would be Wednesday, tomorrow. We gave Sunday off. We tried to go pretty light yesterday. And I think it's paying off. You know, our guys' legs are a little more fresh. Youngblood looked great. Thought Sears, the Barron, thought Grant, you know, not practicing yesterday with the shin bruise he had. Thought he looked great with his effort. So, all in all, good win. You know, and you know, Mississippi State's a good team. It wasn't their night tonight, but they, you know, they're still a tough team. We barely out-rebounded them on a night when we, you know, forced a lot of misses from them, and there was a lot of rebounds to get. They still play hard. So I think this one's going to go a long ways because they'll bounce back and get some wins here soon, I think.
Start on the right here with Tony.
Yeah, Coach, you're 9-0 in games when Mark Cedars has 7 or more assists. Do you show him games like this, and do you need to show him games like this for like motivation? And how much more do you click when, you know, he is distributing like this?
I'm really good when he's distributing like this. And I've been telling you guys, he's been playing his best basketball of his career on both sides. You know, for him to have a positive defensive leverage, that hasn't always been the case. You know, when he just gets locked into getting stops, doing winning things, doesn't care who scores. I mean, you know, when it was getting close to 10, he really wanted to make sure he got 10. CY was telling him, you know who to find. So I don't know if that assist to CY for the 3 was his 10th, but it might have been either his 9th or his 10th, because it came after we had a timeout where CY said, you know who to find. So, you know, he was happy. He was happy CY scored 27. He did talk about Mudita. Thought Sears was really happy for, you know, everybody else that was able to get in the scoring column, and he was able to get some assists. And yeah, we definitely will show highlights of this. What are we, 9-0 in his entire career here? Is that what it is? When he's got at least how many assists? 7. So that's the magic number. Just drop a lot of plays and get Sears assists, I guess, moving forward. So I think a lot of the assists come in the flow, though, not necessarily designed. Just attacking downhill, making the right reads.
Nick Kelly.
Yeah, two if I can. Mark said that they can't feel any sympathy on defense in the second half, even if it went up big. How do what comes to mind when you hear that from him? And second question, how close is this to the best version of this team that it can be?
Yeah, I wasn't happy with the defense in the second half. We've only had one game. I think you were the one who brought it up, that we had better defensive efficiency in the second half. That was the LSU one, where we weren't very good in the first half, so we better be better in the second half. So we weren't better in the second half again today. And you can use the excuse it's hard to play with a lead. If you're immature, it's hard to play with a lead. Hard on defense. If you're mature and it's about getting stops and you're not playing the scoreboard, you're playing the guy across the line from you, if you will. You're trying to dominate him every possession, not giving up free looks. I was a little perturbed, especially the group there at the end. They feel like they scored on us every possession to close the game out. I think they had 61 going into the final media and ended up scoring 12 in the last 4 minutes of the game. That's not what we're trying to do. So, yeah, we've got to get a little bit better sense of urgency playing with a lead, and we can't do it. I told the guys, I think Georgia was up 25 on Florida tonight, and Florida came back and cut it to 2 at one point.
We took the lead.
Oh, Florida took the lead.
Yeah. You gotta go first.
So there you have it. So they're up 25, and then Florida comes back and takes the lead. That's why you can't relax when you go up 20, 25, whatever it is. And that's a huge win for Georgia, but I was trying to tell our guys before the game, and the game wasn't decided. Actually, I told them at the half I didn't realize Florida had taken the lead, but we had a case in point tonight. You've got to take care of business when you get a team down, and you got to take a 20-point lead to 25, to 30, to 35, and we've buried teams here in the past, and we've got to get a little bit better killer mentality, if you will, to just put teams away when you've got a lead on them. And we weren't bad. Our offense was good enough to keep them at good arm's length all game, but our defense has to get a little bit better. And Mark was right on that.
Chase.
I want to ask you a little bit more about the defense on Hubbard. In the first half, I saw a lot of pretty tight face guarding on him, especially from Sears and Youngblood. Was it a big part of the defensive plan to just limit his touches with the face guard?
Yeah, we didn't want him to touch as much as possible. I mean, he torched us last time. He makes such tough shots. He's going to get them up if he gets the ball. I mean, sure, he got 22 shots up tonight. He's going to get them up if you let him touch the ball. So when he gives it up, don't let him get it back. And we try to do a little bit more of that, try to make him work for everything. So obviously helped that he got in some foul trouble, didn't play as many minutes in the first half as maybe he normally would. So that helped with the 6-point first half. We held him to, but yeah, we were definitely trying not to let him touch it as often as he did last game.
On the left.
So obviously, Mississippi State's given up a lot of 3-pointers against a lot of teams, but it seems like you've particularly figured out a way to exploit some things on that end, on the perimeter, in both the last meeting and tonight. What do you think sort of led to some of that?
It's a good question. I'm not exactly. I mean, they play hard on defense. They do. Their system's a little bit more designed to turn you over, if you will. So if you don't turn it over, you can't get quality shots if you move it. And they've turned a lot of teams over. They played some zone in the second half. Zones tend to give up a lot of threes. So, and I think maybe the man wasn't working. They went zone, or they were in foul trouble. Either way, I'm not sure why. But zones tend to give up more threes, so that probably helped a little bit in the second half. And we were able to get some threes off our offensive rebounds too, which doesn't really have much to do with the defensive philosophy. But we were fortunate to get 45 up because we like to get them up, and made 22. I think this was the 5th time we made 20 plus threes and one away from our own record. We had 23 at LSU and 22 at Auburn. So the 3rd time we've hit at least 22, and 5th time we've hit 20. So it's not the first time we've done it. We've done this to other teams in the past as well.
Katie.
You only attempted 2 tonight, made the first one you took, but tonight got in the gym and he was shooting threes, or it looked like he was working on him. Just how much is that an area of his game he's trying to develop, or that you want him to develop and kind of take him to the next level?
You know, we want all of our players to work on their game and continue to develop their game. And, you know, I think that's the next step with Mo is, you know, kind of play more of that spacing four, where he can knock down shots. It's going to take a lot of work. You know, but he's in there working. I mean, he went 3 of 3 against Texas, won 1 of 2 tonight. Like, we want him taking good ones, like open catch and shoot threes. So, you know, that's the thing with us. Like, if you're willing to get in the gym and work, like, go ahead and use what you're working on in the gym. If he's working his tail off on shooting threes, and they're going to leave him open. You know, Jaron had a pretty rough start to the year shooting threes, and we told him to just keep shooting every open shot he gets. Noah Clowney, a pretty rough stretch to start his freshman year here. And Judy knocked down 4 before the first media time out there when we broke out of the slump. So, you know, Mo's not to the level of shooter as Clowney or Jaron is, but we're going to work on him all off season, and hopefully, you know, he's a much improved shooter come next year. But even now, I mean, he's working there to went 3 of 3 one game, went 1 of 2 tonight. So,
Like,
Yeah, less drop coverage and ball screens tonight, saw a little more hedging, blitzing. Was that something that was a matchup specific thing with Mississippi State, or something you're trying to implement more with this defense?
Hubbard, 38. Don't want to just see clean looks coming off ball screens. So, yeah, matchup specific to the guy that dropped 38 on us last game.
two more, Jeff.
We've seen the 3-guard lineup benefit Mark in terms of getting him going, but just how have you seen it benefit Chris Youngblood these last 2 games, getting more involved off ball as a shooter?
Yeah, I think it's really helped him being in there with 2 of those other 3 a lot more. You know, LeBaron can create. You know, I think, you know, you look, LeBaron and Mark had, you know, now look at the 3 of them. Yeah, the 3 of those guys that kind of create. Didn't realize had 20 assists combined between the 3 of them. So, trying to keep 2 of those guys in and having CY play with 2 of those guys a lot more, and having Mark play with at least 1 more of those other 2, I think has significantly helped our offense, helped the ball move. You know, I don't think we can plan on scoring 111 every night, but I think it's been good. You know, we need to get our defense, but you know, defense sometimes take a little bit of a hit when you go a little smaller, so we got to make sure we've got the right matchups to play that way, if you will. But offensively, it's been a better look for us to have, you know, more creators in there to create shots. Jaron went 3 of 3 tonight. Like, Jaron needs, you know, catch and shoots, good. You know, Jaron's shooting a lot better with those guys in. We went through the numbers and looked at him, kind of, when we decided to put LeBaron in for him, we showed him how much better he is with 2 of those 3 creators in, and it's helped his game. You know, we told him he'd get at least as many minutes, and he has. He's averaging, you know, ever since we took him out of the starting lineup, he's played more minutes than he was averaging before, and his minutes have been more efficient, which is what really matters. So, CY's been more efficient, Jaron's been more efficient, Mark Sears been more efficient. It's helped a lot of guys on offense since we've kind of made that change in the lineup and kept the rotations a certain way like that.
Last one, Drew.
Coach, I know coaching is teaching in psychology, but it seemed in the last few games that early Grant Nelson hasn't been as aggressive offensively. Has there been, I know he missed practice the other day with the shin, but has there been an effort from the staff to try to get him to be more aggressive?
I mean, we wanted to be aggressive. That dunk he had in the second half, we'd like to see that a lot more. Kind of going on the catch already. You know, teams are loading up off him. They used to do it all the time to Herb Jones. Herb was great on this. You know, when he got to New Orleans with the Pelicans, they said he was the best guy in the team already. Kind of that, we called it go catch, go on catch already to kind of beat the heavy help. You know, that they try to play off him. We need him doing more of that. You know, the post ups, drawing doubles, because he's a good passer out of it. We'd like to see more of that. But so yeah, we'd like to see him more aggressive. As long as he's not turning it over. He's had some turnover issues. You know, he ended up had turning over 3 times tonight. You know, he had the one drive on the baseline, and I don't know what happened. I'll have to go look at the video. But yeah, as long as he's not turning over, we'd like to be him to be as aggressive as he can be, because he makes good plays and he's not turning over.
Thank you, Coach.
Appreciate
Thanks,
you
everyone.
guys.